Industrial Talk is brought to you by Armis. Yes, you are in the digital transformation game. Yes, you need to find trusted companies, trusted individuals to help you along with that journey. The Armis platform delivers complete asset intelligence. You know what that means? Insights into your connected assets. You're in the digital transformation game, you have to have that insights into what is connected. Go to armis.com, find out more. You will not be disappointed. Industrial Talk is brought to you by Arduino, the original all-in-one IoT platform. That's right. Go out to arduino.cc and you will find documentations. You will find devices, powerful boards to help you with your digital transformation journey. It's all there. Go out to arduino.cc, find out more, see how you can connect with these professionals to help you along with your digital transformation journey. Arduino.cc.
Welcome to the Industrial Talk Podcast with Scott McKenzie. Scott is a passionate industry professional dedicated to transferring cutting-edge, industry-focused innovations and trends while highlighting the men and women who keep the world moving. So put on your hard hat, grab your work boots, and let's go.
All right, welcome to Industrial Talk, the number one industrial-related podcast in the universe, Carl. And it's backed up by data, so don't even begin to debate the fact that that is a fact. It's data. And we are broadcasting live from SMRP. This is the 30th annual, and I got to tell you, last year's was, this one's better attended. You get it, Carl?
Yeah, I totally agree.
Well, there you go, man. He's my wingman. His name is Carl. Whatever. I'll go with that. All right. Once again, we're brought to you by Hexagon EAM. That is a product that you need to look more into. If you're into asset management, if you're looking to have a system that can definitely capture all of those assets, that's Hexagon EAM. Find out more. Go out to their website. All right, Carl. Wingman.
Yes, sir.
It's always a pleasure to be able to have a conversation with you.
Always a pleasure to be with the great Scott McKenzie.
And the number one industrial-related podcast in the universe. Yeah, that's right. Dr. Karl. Dr. Karl. Calling Dr. Karl. Are you having a good conference?
I am. It was interesting. Last night was the first night for the expo.
Yeah.
And the quantity of people that came by the booth was pretty amazing. So we're talking with other people, and I don't know what we do a little bit different. I've got an opinion on it, but we had...
Whoa. What's the opinion? Don't just leave it there outside of the fact that it's my stellar personality.
Well, it's a thing of just trying to find out what people would find interesting and what's really going to help solve solutions for them. So we came out with a new product. We call it visual vibration. And basically you can use your cell phone to shoot a slow-mo video. We'll convert it with our software, and basically you'll be able to visualize the vibration that's happening to the asset or the machine or the piping or the foundation very rapidly. And so you can deploy this. Everybody carries a cell phone these days, and almost everybody has a slow-mo video capability. So it's universal in our neck of the woods with maintenance reliability and say, hey, something's vibrating, it sounds a little weird. Well, shoot a little video on it. Let's get it rolling. Let's see what's going on.
But, so let's say we look at that visual, but you're a vibration guy.
Yes.
You'll go out there, you get your tools and you get your tool belt, and you go out there and you just determine what that, the whatever the status of the vibration status. Are you saying that the visual capabilities that you're talking about also just enhances your ability to go out there and say, yeah, we need to go out there, we need to do a little bit more
100%.
Investigation?
So we've been noticing as plants have been aging that more and more concrete foundations are failing. And the vibration happens at the frequency of whatever the machine is turning at. So in the vibration world, when whatever speed the machine turns at, we call it the first frequency we're interested in, or the one time. Because there's things that are multiples of that. Like if you misalign two shafts, you'll get 2 times the turning speed, or a 2 time. So you'll see a high one time. Well, then you go, okay, what is that? Is that misalignment? Is it unbalance? Is it a resonance? Is it a cracked foundation, looseness, things like that? And that's where that subtlety of that diagnosis is more difficult. So,
yeah.
Does that make sense?
You're just saying that being able to visually say it, like, yeah, I see it. Yeah, that is. I don't have the in-depth analytics at that particular time. I need to call Dr. Karl and come up with some sort of a tactical solution to what's taking place here, if any.
Certainly, yeah. That's what, like, one of the things we had. This was a large, it's a 40-foot long draft fan for a steel mill, and our diagnosis was soft foot of the motor, and the maintenance professionals there were disagreeing with us. So we shot a video, and you can clearly see how the thing was having a soft foot issue. And then I said, let's verify it, because as a doctor, right, you don't want to do a single test and make a determination of a treatment or a course of therapy without having multiple things confirming your diagnosis. So we said, okay, the vibration is showing this. I did phase analysis, which is a way of looking at how the machines are rocking, and that helped confirm it. Then we shot the video, and it was clearly soft foot. And I said, one more test. Let's put a dial indicator on every foot, and when you loosen the bolt, let's see how much the machine moves. And so we did the first drive-in feet, the left and the right, and they moved 3 mils. We did the non-drive-in feet, one of them moved 3 mils, and the fourth foot moved 9 mils, and that's the definitive test for a soft foot condition.
For the software condition?
Soft foot.
Soft foot condition.
Yeah.
I see what you're saying, sure. Now, when I got to dive deep a little bit. Don't text me, listeners, but when you say 9 mils, how do you measure that? I mean, that's
put a dial indicator.
Yeah.
Okay, we put a dial indicator on the foot, and then we loosen the pressure. We loosen the bolt, and we see how far does the frame move relative to the base. So whenever you bolt something down and you tighten it down, right, you're taking that last little bit of space between the machine and the actual base, right, and you're compressing it down to get it to hold fast. So a soft foot condition can either be a deficit in the machine or a deficit in the foundation or a combination. And it is a crucial step in precision alignment of machines to make sure that the bases and the foundations are relatively flat, so that when you bolt the machine down and you tighten it down, you don't get any distortion of the frame. So when we said 9 mils, we're talking 1/1000th of an inch.
Yeah, I mean that's
Yeah.
That's the point. It's like, oh, I can't see that.
No, you can't see that. No, that's the thing about maintenance. It's difficult for many people to understand is they go, this thing's good enough. Well, it depends on what's good enough for you. Do you want it to last 6 months or 6 years? The more precision maintenance techniques you apply to installing your equipment, the longer it's going to run. That's why we use laser shaft alignment. Ludeca's the greatest company in the world for learning about laser shaft alignment. They've been promoting that for 30 and 40 years now, because they found that when you use lasers to precisionally align 2 different shafts, you can get them down to having a deficit of less than 2 mils.
So back to that statement that you breezed over real quick. If I am committed to precision, there is a statistical improvement of that life of that asset.
Yes.
So even when it comes down to just mills.
Correct. Yeah. So that's why a good millwright has dial indicators. A good millwright also uses a precision alignment system. And you can do alignment with dial indicators. Reverse dial indicators have been a common practice for a long time. It takes a long time. That's why people switch to lasers, because they're just as precise and they're faster than a dial indicator. But when it comes to checking for soft foot, the gold standard is using your dial indicator to measure, when I loosen this foot, how much does it raise? Right? When I bolt the sucker down and I crank on it, am I getting equal pressure on all 4 feet? Or in this case with the microphone, the 3 feet.
Yeah, no, I get it.
So if you have a deficit of one, what will happen is it will pull the frame, it will torque it. That'll take the alignment of the bearings off a little bit. That'll put pressure on the shaft, and all of a sudden the thing will vibrate excessively because it's not spinning in a circle, it's spinning in an oval.
No, but let's say, I mean, I can't see mills.
Correct.
Right? I can't. So if I'm a maintenance professional, right?
Correct.
And it just gets down to, am I bothering you there?
No,
as he surfs his phone right there, and I'm trying to be very deep here, and yet.
And you had to out me.
I did. Because I'm staring at you going, what the heck is he doing, man?
I'm letting people know that I can't call him back for the next hour because I'm devoting this time to you, Scott.
Oh, thanks. Thank you. But how does that starting point occur? I mean, you don't want to be in a situation where that thing is just like, rah, whatever, the sound is just ridiculous and it's obvious that there's a problem. How do you get sort of ahead of that?
Well, part of it is the thing I was talking about at the very beginning is the degradation of our plants, right? There are new plants being built all the time. However, there is a huge group of plants that are aging, that are 25, 30, 40, 50.
That's true.
Some places you go to, like, this plant has been refining oil since 1922, right?
Yeah.
And you can still see some of the stuff. I mean, I've walked into some switchgear and I went, did Thomas Edison install this?
Look at that light bulb.
So there is an increase in the number of units that have excessive vibration, and they go, but we aligned it. It doesn't have soffit. What's going on? And we find the foundational issues or problems, or pipe stresses problems. And that's where this visual vibration is nice, because you can visualize a wider area of assets. So, and I'll send you a video clip. You can put this on if this goes on YouTube or something. But we have it where there's a process unit, an agitator, that's shaking. They're breaking small little devices all the time. And the root cause is the actual concrete foundation that this whole thing sits on is broken, and it's wobbling around.
So when you go into, I hate to go into this level of detail, but it's geeky. When you go into that particular situation, you're saying, okay, I would imagine it's just me. I'm saying I'm having a problem with this, whatever this motor, this whatever it is, right? I don't know where it is. I don't know what the problem is. I know that there's a problem.
Correct.
Can you have to. You're a doctor. So you're going to have to determine where the problem occurs. You're going to have to do some analytics, just saying, no, it's not there. It's sort of, I think it's here. Let's do a little analysis. Yeah, it is. And I would imagine that visual solution allows you to sort of at least direct your eye to maybe the area.
It does, and that's what makes visual vibration such a unique new offering, is that anyone can shoot a cell phone camera video and be able to visualize very rapidly how things are moving and how they're related to each other, and they're moving, whether it's the piping that's moving, whether it's the foundation, or it's the actual unit. So you can rapidly figure out and communicate that up the line to senior management, saying, hey, we keep breaking this thing over and over and over again. We tried fixing it different ways, and we've missed the boat because it actually was the foundation. So it helps rapidly communicate to senior management, this is what you need to do.
But it also does a great job of just, I'm a visual guy, man. Don't give me squiggly lines. I don't want squiggly lines. I want something that, and I can see it, and it makes complete sense. It's like, yep, yeah, I see it, yeah, and that makes complete sense. Oh, there you go.
There's a software video, and I'll give you that.
By the way, this is a podcast. You know this, Doctor, right?
I do know this, but
here, let me just sort of put it up, and it's also a video. But
I'll give you the clip. And you can
I need the clip.
So can you see how that thing's diving right there? See how that's dipping down?
I don't see it. Okay, now we've got dead air.
Now we got dead.
Yeah, now it's all uncomfortable because he can't just leave well enough alone. He's got to just sit there and surf on his own.
Well, we went down the rabbit hole.
Yeah, I know.
Sir,
we certainly did go down the rabbit hole
to help you understand.
So really, the reality of this is the fact that we want to extend, through precision. We want to extend the life of that asset. There we go.
See how the thing's jumping at the non-driving
there you
side
go.
of the motor?
Oh, check it out.
Yeah, see how much that's bending and going
So,
back and forth?
if you guys were looking at this like I'm looking at it, there is obvious things that are taking place.
Put it up for the camera? Does that work?
Let me change the camera. There it is. There it is. Is it moving?
I don't know.
Yeah, it is. There it is. It is moving. All right.
All right, maybe that got on there. Maybe it didn't. Sorry, audience.
That's okay. But no, what you're striving for, what you're really focused on, is an extension of that asset, uptime. And you're truly, in essence, trying to remove that catastrophic situation that can occur with an asset.
Correct.
So
we've had several fans this year that had issues, and people would call us and say, can you balance this fan? Sure, we can balance the fan. And we assessed the fan, and we said, it's not out of balance. And they go, surely it has to be out of balance. And the thing about vibration that can get people into trouble is an elevated level of vibration at turning speed, again, a high one time, right? Because it doesn't matter the RPM of the machine. Each machine, if it's got unbalance, soft foot, misalignment, looseness, resonance, can all vibrate excessively at that same frequency, whatever the machine turns at. So there's a whole slew of problems that come with a high one time. So if all you're looking at is a vibration spectrum, a squiggly line, and then a graph of lines, and they go, well, it's got a high one time. Oh, it's on a fan. Well, balance it. Well, 80% of the time you'll probably be okay. But when we go in, because we're the vibration professionals, and we assess it, we said, unfortunately, this is not an unbalanced situation. This has to do with X, Y, and Z. In this case, these 3 fans I'm talking about this year was all broken foundations. And it was difficult for people to want to understand that. And that's where visual vibration was so great at giving the ability for people who are a non-technical group, because you're talking with the finance people about, hey, we need you to commit to spending hundreds of thousands of dollars to break down the old foundation, get it all the way down to dirt, put in new rebar, put in new concrete, and build the thing back up. That's a difficult sell because you're going to have that unit offline for weeks.
It is. Do you find yourself sometimes just, I know we have a problem. Do you just get some conversations that are around how can we extend the life of this asset?
All the time.
Can we not take it off right now because whatever the push is?
So that's a great question because we get that constantly, right? Is there another alternative? Is anything we can do there? And in certain aspects, in this fan in particular, we got called in after the fan blew up the first time. Had a debris field about 50 feet off the one side when the thing exploded. And we're talking, I think this thing's a 14-foot diameter draft fan. So a pretty good debris field. Luckily, no one was injured. So we came in, did our assessment, and said the foundation's broken. So they fixed it. And we said, but, in fact, Benny Ortega, who's our senior solutions provider, he did a cause map. He's fantastic at doing a lot of things, but one of the things he excels at is doing these cause maps. So in doing the cause map, the foundation we found to be broken, we felt was a secondary occurrence after the first time the fan failed. Well, they put all their money, time, and energy in fixing the foundation, which they needed to. However, they didn't continue to look at some other things we found, like the temperatures between this fan and its sister fan was 400 degrees difference. Well, if you know anything about metal, when you add heat, things thermally expand. So we were asking, have you figured out why you have this 400 degree extra amount of heat inside this process? Because it's going to thermally grow more, and it may grow out of tolerance and touch off. So we'd put that in our cause map. Well, unfortunately, that wasn't addressed. And so the next time they put the fan in, it blew up. And people were mad at us because they fixed the foundation. We said, no, let's go over the cause map. So, and I felt bad for the guys because they've lost several fans now. The production is way down. And unfortunately is that you get people that want to have just a definitive solution and nothing else. And unfortunately, plants are similar to humans, where you can have someone who has diabetes, arthritis, heart problems.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And they're saying, I want to run a marathon. And you go, okay, great. Well, we're going to start with handling your diabetes and your heart problem.
Right.
But we haven't addressed the knee arthritis. And so then they get mad they weren't able to run the marathon. We said, well, first we had to get you, these things taken care of.
Right.
Then we go to the next one. And they get angry about it. And I go, I'm sorry your system is so complicated as it wasn't a quick fix. But we've been lulled into this sense that it should always be a quick fix because I can order Uber to bring us food right now. And I can have Starbucks to have drinks ready to go. Right? So we have all this convenience in the personal life. But when you get into other things, there's some complications. And so it makes it a nuanced conversation.
But it does speak well or bode well that you have to be clear, you have to be precise in your diagnosis, yes. and have everybody sort of, just like a doctor, just like talking to a patient, just like anything else, that has to be that conversation. And you're right. I think that culturally we're just we want satisfaction now, and I blame Amazon. Yes, I blame you, Amazon, because I can go and get whatever I want.
Well, we can blame whoever we want on the large things, but so this is why I like visual vibration, because anyone with a cell phone camera can shoot a video and we can process it for them, get that back to them rapidly, and it can communicate up multiple levels into the finance people, and they clearly see, oh, you're right. Yeah, it's broken. Darn it. Okay, what do we do? It's okay, we need to do this, this, and this. So one of the things our takeaway on that cause map was they were in such a rush to move forward on things. We said, okay. And then we had it documented where we said, okay, we want to follow up with you and help do commissioning and startup on this. And the guy said, I got it. We said, okay, if you've got it, then you need to take care of everything. So review the cause map. So we had good communication there. Unfortunately, that person was busy and didn't, and they grenaded another fan. So this time we got brought in. We've been helping them throughout the whole process, and the fan's been running great now. But it was a process issue that was located to be the reason why it thermal grew. So,
it's changing all the time, right?
There's constant change, and that's one of the things you need to embrace is that there's constant change, but you still have to have a roadmap of where you want to be, where you want to go.
How do they get a hold of you, Dr.
Go to
Karl?
failureprevention.com. You can look up Dr. Karl Hoffower on LinkedIn, but failureprevention.com is the best way to find us.
There you go, man. Thank you. Again, it's always a pleasure, even though you had been surfing your doggone cell phone the whole time.
Let's be clear. No,
I don't want to be clear.
Responding to a message to let them know I was currently occupied by the great Scott McKenzie and Industrial Talk podcast.
That's right, the #1 industrial-related podcast in the universe, backed up by data.
Data. We like data. I listen to you all the time, and I'm not trying to blow sunshine up your backside.
There you go, man. I kind of like that. All right, we're broadcasting from the 30th Annual SMRP Conference here in Raleigh, North Carolina. You get great people like Karl and others that are definitely delivering the goods. We're going to wrap it up on the other side. You're going to have all the contact information for Karl and his company shortly, so stay tuned.
You're listening to the Industrial Talk Podcast Network.
All right. Once again, thank you. Thank you very much for your support. Industrial Talk really, truly appreciates you. That's why this platform's here, to celebrate you. Right there, pointing right at you on the video. Dr. Karl Hoffower. He was in the house delivering the goods. He never disappoints. A lot of fun. I always, and I mean always, enjoy our conversation. And I'm telling you right now, from his heart, he is passionate. He's passionate about you and your assets and helping you succeed. Dr. Karl, I'll have all the contact information out on Industrial Talk, so fear not. You will be able to get a hold of him. Now, if you're an asset management professional, yes. Or a maintenance professional, yes. Or a reliability professional, yes. You need to be a part of SMRP. SMRP is a wonderful organization, and it has incredible members, all focused on just really doing a good job in the world of reliability right there. There's no other way of putting it. There's this level of passion, and you need to be a part of it. So go out to smrp.org. smrp.org. Find out more. Get engaged. Great. I mean, I think they have their next conference, and I want to say it's in Orlando. Don't hold me to it, but we'll definitely dial that in. But you need to be a part of it. So anyway, thank you again. Hang out with people like Karl. You're going to change the world. Be bold, be brave. I always say it because you deserve it. This platform is here for you. Tell your story. Tell everybody about it. We're going to have another great conversation coming from SMRP shortly, so stay tuned.